Hey there everybody, welcome to Auto Bears, and you join me in sunny Scunthorpe for this, the launch of the new 2024 Nissan Qashqai. Yeah, you're not buying that at all, are you? No, I'm actually here in what was sunny Portugal, and definitely the best setting to drive this new car. Now the weird thing is, it seems like only last year that Nissan actually kind of unveiled the third generation Qashqai, but it's actually been out since 2022, and if you click up in the top right hand corner, you can watch my review of the mild hybrid version I had back then. But 2 years on, Nissan have felt that the Qashqai needs a bit of a midlife facelift, especially as a massively competitive segment, going up against the likes of the revised Hyundai Tucson, Kia Sportage and the likes of Stellantis. So we have had a bit of a midlife facelift on the Qashqai, but as you can clearly see, it's more than just a tweak to the headlights and the grille, and we'll go into that in a little bit. We've also had a little bit of a revision to the interior of the car, but when it comes to the driving dynamics, everything's remaining the same because Nissan are very confident in their powertrains and how the Qashqai drives. So yeah, I'm here on the launch of the 2024 Nissan Qashqai, so let's see what they've done. Now, when it comes to the Qashqai styling, as you can see, it's a bit more than a midlife facelift. But what I love is that you can see elements of the Nissan Juke and Ariya electric vehicle in its design. So there is a nice kind of family feel in regards to the styling of the new Qashqai. And as you can see, it is a big, bold statement from the Japanese brand, and I absolutely love it. So what we have got are these new daytime running lights that have dynamic scrolling indicators. We got a second set of daytime running lights just below with the integrated headlights as well, and these are actually known as a boomerang effect. Now this actually filters down into the grille and also in the front there as well. And in terms of inspiration, and I absolutely love this, the actual grille is inspired by Japanese Samurai Armour. And I do apologise now because I'm going to cut to a clip of The Last Samurai. It's one of my favourite films. But you get the idea. But I love the fact that just like the Ariya EV, the Qashqai is kind of following its heritage in Japan rather than going for bold European styling. And then we've got the back of the new Qashqai as well, and I love the rear taillight design. So again, we have got dynamic scrolling indicators, we've got this clear see-through design as well, and depending on which trim level you go for, you get a deep red light from the brakes and also when you're driving with the tail lights turned on, and that's to emit an air of quality from the Qashqai, whereas a lot of cars in the kind of consumer segment tend to have more orangey red rather than a deep red. And it's also OLED lights as well at the rear. So Nissan are really taking the Qashqai seriously, even though this is a midlife facelift. But let me know what you think of the front end and rear of the new Qashqai. Now I will also mention this new paint colour, which is called Ocean Deep, and it's the first time that Nissan have actually done a green on the Qashqai, and I think it looks bloody lovely. But again, let me know in the comments section below. So yeah, when it comes to the exterior of the new Qashqai, I think they've done an amazing job. I love the fact that we've got references to the Juke and Ariya, but also that Japanese heritage. Just like with the Ariya with its Kumiko design with the old woodworking on the interior. And speaking of interiors, let's see what Nissan have done. So, sat inside the 2024 Qashqai, not too much has changed. It's more about the technology than the overall interior design, but I've got no issues with the design of the Qashqai's interior. It's very ergonomically sound. It has got a traditional modern interior look to it, but what we have got is a couple of changes in materials, and like I said, some little updates when it comes to connectivity, but also with the screens as such. So basically, when it comes to the updates, we have, as you can see on the dash here, we've got Alcantara, and it feels really premium. I actually kind of, again, feel like I'm sat in the Ariya EV because that had that blue interior Alcantara, which was very nice. We also have got this new trim here on the center console, and I know I had on previous Qashqais, it said, like I called it a digital wood, but on this car, it kind of feels like a metal look to it, but you can clearly see a little pattern in there. And again, it just adds a nice feel and vibe to the interior of the new Qashqai. The screen is now a little bit bigger. It's around 12.5 inches. It is ever so slightly turned towards the driver. So again, I got that nice driver-centric feel. The other thing I will mention is that we have got Google integrated into the car as well. So you can ask the car to do certain tasks for you. You just got to say things like, "Hey Google" or "Okay Google." Now, something I've been kind of wanting to see happen for a while is actually a little change to the digital dashboard display. Again, it's still that kind of 12.3 inch display, but now when you change drive modes, so going from sport, standard to eco, it actually changes the color. Okay, granted it's on the inside of the dials, but it changes the color to let you know what drive mode you're in. So obviously it's going to go red for sport, green for eco, and then disappears for standard. But not only that, it then goes to the interior mood lighting, which I think is actually really good. But if you don't want to kind of let anyone know you got it in sport mode when you're driving at night, other colors are available. And of course, with these type of interior lights, there's plenty to choose from. So when you're driving along, what's really lovely is that you've got full Google Maps on display. So everything's like a live satellite image. I say live, you know what I mean. But basically it is real life on there. It's not just a kind of Google Maps style map. It's proper Google Earth. The other thing as well is we've now got a update to the 3D car with the cameras that are surrounding the vehicle. So it is all updated. It is 3D. You can scroll around the car and see what it's doing. And yeah, it's a really nice, pleasant system. But they've also got a new thing, which is a through the bonnet camera. Now, we have seen this with the likes of JLR, where if you are going off-roading, you can see what's going on kind of underneath the car or where the wheels are, so you don't hit any rocks or boulders. Same kind of thing, but I would probably say it's so you don't hit a curb in the car park, rather than kind of, you know, roughing it off the beaten track. But it is a nice feature, and what it does is it kind of copies and pastes where you have been before, so then just puts that image on the center there. So yeah, that's a really nice, cool feature, and like I said, it's brilliant when you're kind of driving and maneuvering around in a car park. There is also as well what they call a T-junction camera as well. So I do apologise if I'm rushing, I'm just kind of aware that we're by the airport and everything, but there's a T-junction camera. So when you approach it, a T-junction, there are cameras in the front corners which actually scan what's kind of coming along your way. So if it's a bit of a blind spot or if there's an obstruction, that actually really helps you out. And that was something, again, that we used to see on very premium vehicles like top-end BMWs and Mercedes. So it's great to see this technology kind of filter its way down into consumer brands like Nissan. And then everything else is just what you would expect from the Qashqai. The steering wheel still feels really lovely in my hands. I do love the quality of the leather. We have still got your soft touch plastics on the doors. Cubby spaces are still very good as well. I'm not going to go into them in too much detail, but what I will say is if you do click up in the, I'm going to go that way, top right hand corner, you can watch my review of the e-power version of the Qashqai. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are no changes to the driving dynamics of the car. You still get the choice of 3 hybrids, 2 mild and 1 full hybrid with the e-power. And that one is very unique because at no point does that engine send any power to the front wheels. It actually just powers the battery, generator or inverter and motor, and then that sends the power to the front wheels for you, and you'll get all the details off that review. So yeah, being sat here in the front of the 2024 Qashqai, it is a really lovely place to be, still very comfortable. We have got, on depending on the trim level, we have got Qashqai kind of not embossed, but kind of, I think they said debossed on the seat, so that gives a really nice premium feel. And yeah, it's just a really lovely place to be. And before we go quickly sit in the back, I will mention there is one new trim level to the range, and that is the N design. So when it comes to trim levels, what we have is the Ascenta Premium, the N Connector, the N Design, Techna, and Techna Plus. And just for reference, this particular car that I'm in is the Techna Plus, because I wanted to show off that ocean deep green paint, also the Alcantara as well. But if you do go for any other trim levels, excluding the N Design, this is actually replaced with a faux leather on the dashboard, and it actually comes in a brown colour, which Nissan do call burnt umber. So that is quite unique. But anyway, I've rattled on enough about the interior changes on the 2024 Qashqai. Let's just do a double check and see what it's like in the back. Sat in the back of the new Qashqai, it is pretty much identical to the pre-facelifted version, apart from those material changes. So one of the big highlights is that the doors open to nearly 90 degrees. So if you do have a family and you need to affix a child seat, that is a really handy feature. So you know you can get the doors nice and wide and open. So that's really cool. So I'll now close that in. And just highlight the fact we have got that alcantara trim here on the door panels. The actual tops of the doors, yeah, they are still hard scratchy plastic, so there's a little drop in quality, but it's still a lovely place to be. These seats are very comfortable. And then when it comes to things like space, of course that driver's seat is set to my driving position. I'm 5'7" tall and 5'7" wide, and I've got a good amount of knee room. I can get my feet underneath the driver's seat as well. And headroom for me is not too bad, but because we have got the Techno Plus, we have got, as standard, an opening sunroof. So those who might be 6 foot tall, or possibly 5'11", as you'll see right now, might find their head rubbing against the ceiling. So that's just something to be aware of. Again, when it comes to cubby spaces, door pockets are not too bad. We have got your aeroplane style pockets on the backs of the front seats, and we've got your armrest with a couple of cup holders there. And then finally, when it comes to features, we have got a couple of USB-C charging inputs, a couple of little vents as well. And that is, I think, about it back here. One thing I will say when it comes to ISOFIX supports, yeah, unfortunately, they have got plastic caps on them, so these are easy to lose and possibly break. So that's just something to be aware of. So what I'd say is take these off and just store them somewhere safe. So yeah, once you're sat here in the back of the new Qashqai, nothing really has changed apart from those materials, same as what we've got up front, but it is still a nice, comfortable place to be. And then what we'll do is very quickly have a little look at the boot, even though nothing's changed again, but just a reminder of how versatile it is. So opening the boot of the Qashqai, again, you get your 504 litres of space, which is pretty decent for this segment of car. I do apologise for the full boatload of it, so I should say bootload, but as you can see, you can clearly get a few carry-on bags in here, maybe a large suitcase, and definitely a few weekend bags. Again, we've got no low lip to navigate over, and again, we have got the segmented floor, so there are around 16 variations and combinations you can set that up. It's not devoid of features either. I do apologise for the plane at the background, but we do have things like a 12-volt socket. We have got some tethering hooks as well as the underfloor storage. And if I recall, you can get that parcel shelf underneath the boot floor as well. So it is a very versatile place to put your luggage. So yeah, when it comes to things like the practicality, as I said before, nothing much has changed compared to the pre-facelift. It is essentially cosmetic, but this is the great thing about the Qashqai, is that it's basically a jack-of-all-trades car. It does everything very well, and now we can definitely say that the styling has taken a massive step forward. So yeah, that's everything to let you guys know about with the new 2024 Nissan Qashqai. Looks great, drives really well, spacious, it's practical. It is possibly one of the perfect family SUVs you can buy. There's a reason why the Qashqai is one of the best-selling cars in the UK. That wasn't a gunshot, that was somebody by a plane. But anyway, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. If you've got any questions about the Qashqai, the 2024 version, let me know and I'll happily answer them for you. But you guys have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll catch you all in the next video.